Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the video, and today we're going to talk about the new app called Clubhouse. Now if you haven't heard of it before, it's a new social media app that's gained a bit of traction within these past few months, and I think that's mainly because it's attracted celebrities and social media influencers. And overall, I think this app has blown up because of how social media in general has blown up within these past few years. Everybody is slowly realizing the power of social media, and they're slowly realizing that being a social media influencer can be a full-time job. So a lot more people are flocking to social media platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And if this new app called Clubhouse can be the next big thing, they want to get on it first. Many people are hoping that what happened with TikTok might happen with Clubhouse, because the people who started TikTok early, they have now gained a massive following and have become social media superstars. So in this video, I'm going to go over how the Clubhouse app works, some of the pros and cons, and what I think the overall potential of the app is going to be. Oh, and if you haven't done so yet, could you please go down and hit the like button below? It takes 2 seconds, but you know what? I'm going to give you 5. Go ahead. Yeah, right down there. Oh, you're done? Okay, let's jump into the video. Okay, so how does this app work? So for now, the only way that you can get invited into the app is if you get invited by the app developers, or if you've been invited by someone else who's already been invited into the app. And also, the app doesn't seem to be on Android yet, but if you own an iPhone or use iOS, you can go ahead and download the Clubhouse app from the App Store. Because the app is still in beta, they're only allowing select users to join. From what I've seen so far, only celebrities or people with some sort of social influence have been invited into the app. But I'm not quite sure of this, so please correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. But for regular people like me who don't have the access to the app yet, once you download the app, they're going to ask you to fill in your phone number. Once you do that, they're going to send a text to your number, which you will then fill into the app. Once you fill that in, you can then choose your username and reserve it until they accept your request into the app. Even though it's not very likely that the developers are going to approve you, if this app does eventually go mainstream and you plan on hopping on once it becomes more public, if it's anything like we see from Instagram, these usernames are going to become quite important and valuable. But now let's jump into how the app actually works. So the first thing you want to do when you go into the app is to first follow a few people. Because if you don't, you're not going to see any of the chat rooms that are going to appear on your home screen. Once you do that, you can join these audio-only chat rooms where these moderators or people who started the chat room talk about a particular topic. And in these chat rooms, only the moderators who started it have the power to talk. If you're a listener or audience who's looking to chime in, you can reach out to one of the moderators and ask them to see if they can make you a moderator as well. But another caveat to this, there's no direct message option in the Clubhouse app. So if you want to reach out to one of the moderators, you're going to have to go on their other social media apps, such as Instagram or Facebook, in order to get in contact with them through text message. And I think it makes sense for them to implement this because these chat rooms can become pretty big. If they allowed everyone to talk whenever they wanted to, I would assume this would get pretty chaotic pretty quickly. And I'm assuming they don't have a direct messaging feature right now because the app is still in its beginning stages. And I would assume that they would add this feature pretty soon. So to wrap up how this overall app works, it's essentially an app where you have these audio-only chat rooms where a group of moderators in each room talk about a specific topic. The audience can then join in whenever they want, but only the moderators have the power to talk. If you want to become a moderator, you then have to get in contact with one of them to see if they can grant you access so that you yourself can become a moderator as well. So now let's move on to some of the pros and cons of the Clubhouse app. As a smaller creator or a regular person, I think if you can get access to the app right now, you're going to have the opportunity to connect with a lot of other bigger creators and maybe celebrities that you probably wouldn't have access to on any other app. And 2, if you happen to start a room where one of these creators or celebrities join in and they like your opinion on a specific topic or what you're talking about piques their interest, they are much more likely to reach out to you afterwards. The people that get invited into this app right now are probably most likely creators with some sort of social influence. This is probably because the developers want to get their opinions first, and if they happen to like it, then they have the power to bring their followers to the app once it becomes more public. But as of its current state, I think this Clubhouse app right now is being used for more business and networking purposes, just because of its ease of use and how easy it is to get someone's attention. And the second pro I see from this app is pretty time-based. So I'm not sure if this will necessarily still be true once this app becomes more public, but I think right now on this app, it's really easy for you to gain followers. Let me explain. So let's say you're a moderator of a chat room, and preferably you will want to get a few more moderators into your room so that if they have a couple followers, they'll be able to bring them in as well. But then by association, because their followers see that you're a moderator as well, it's likely that they're just going to follow you because they assume that you're a friend of someone else they follow. In a way, they kind of put you in a place of authority. So let's say ideally, you maybe start a room with 20 other moderators, and let's say those 20 other moderators have, 100 followers. Now, if a fifth of those 100 followers happen to come in and join your room, then that's 400 people in your audio chat room. You're bound to get some followers from that. But again, this probably only applies because of how new the app is. So is it really a pro? I'll let you decide. So now let's move on to some of the cons of Clubhouse. And right now, I think the biggest disadvantage of this app is that the conversations aren't saved. So if you have a chat room that lasts for maybe 2 or 3 hours, once you finish that conversation and the chat room is closed, your conversation is gone forever. It's not saved anywhere. And I think this is a pretty big disadvantage because I think its biggest competitor right now is podcasts, which it sounds a lot like to me. A group of people in a room, audio only, talking for hours on end. It sounds a lot like a podcast to me. But I think the fact that people can't go back and revisit the conversation or the points that they thought were very valuable or interesting is a pretty big disadvantage. And I think the second con applies to people who are completely new and just starting out on the app trying to grow their following. If you're just starting out on Clubhouse and you join a room and you happen to get the opportunity to talk, you're going to have to let the audience either fall in love with your personality, what you're saying, to the point where they want to jump off the Clubhouse app, search you on Instagram or Facebook, and follow you there because you were so captivating from what they heard on the Clubhouse app. And I think this is where, if they had the direct messaging feature, it would make connecting with other people so much easier. And the third disadvantage of this app is that I think these audio-only chat rooms can become pretty chaotic. As of now, they don't have a limit on how many moderators can start a room. So yes, it is true that if you had 15 moderators, then all the followers of those 15 moderators could see the room and join. And that would be a good thing, right? But if you really think about it, if you have 15 moderators who can all talk, how much time is each moderator going to have to talk? Especially if all of these 15 people are very opinionated or very charismatic, they're going to either have to talk over each other or wait their turn. And if one topic leads to another and another topic leads to another, they could be in there for hours and in the end, maybe just getting to say a couple of sentences. And this isn't even considering that the moderators didn't give access to their audience to talk as well. If you try to picture maybe 20 or 30 people in a room trying to have a conversation, yeah, that sounds pretty chaotic to me. And the last disadvantage I see of this app is that it's really time consuming. So these chat rooms can go for hours on end, and if you're in there trying to grow your following, you're gonna have to keep monitoring the app one way or another. And if you were a moderator just trying to get your point across, it would probably be a lot easier if you just reached out to your followers through other existing social media apps, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. So I think for the average person with a pretty busy schedule, joining a chat room could be a waste of time. So is there potential for this app? I think that if they tweak a few things, like maybe limiting the time on a certain chat room so that people aren't there for 5, 6, 7 hours, and maybe limiting the amount of moderators that can start a chat room, tweaking a few of these obvious disadvantages along with keeping their specialty to stand out from the crowd might just make this app mainstream. But again, this is all information that I've heard from other people or have seen online. I personally don't have access to the app, but if any of you do and happen to have an invite open, please let me know, because I would really like to check that app out. But if I said any one of the features wrong or missed any important points, please correct me down in the comments below. Again, please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you would like more weekly content, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video.